What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about Path of Vengeance by Cavan Scott. So this is part of phase 2 of the High Republic, and this is actually wrapping up the YA novel, so it's part of that final wave within phase 2 of the High Republic. I will say again, like I said this in my Cataclysm video, I was very surprised to find out that phase 2 is just like a 2-parter, whereas phase 1 was a 3-parter. So that's very interesting to me, but this book, let me tell you, phase 2, the main characters are the YA novels. Like, yes, lots of things happen in the adult novels, but if you skip over the YA books, you literally miss everything. So this is the follow-up to Path of Deceit, which was written by Justina Ireland and Tessa Gratton, which I absolutely adored. Justina Ireland is one of my favorite authors. Being introduced to the Path of the Open Hand, being introduced to Marta and the mother and, you know, her cousin Yana, and seeing just this very different view of the Force and the Jedi that we really haven't seen before. And then, like, seeing how that book ended up with, you know, the revelations and seeing the Leveler for the first time and what all of that means was really fascinating. And then from that book, you really do need to listen to the audio drama, which is the Battle for Jedha, because the Path of the Open Hand at the end of Path of Deceit leave Dalna to go spread their gospel at the Convocation of the Force or of Light or whatever they call it on the, you know, moon Jedha. And that's where everything really falls apart. And this book picks up during that battle. There's 3 parts in this book. It's the Battle of Jedha, which is just kind of a look at how, like, our characters escaped. You get to see Marta, you get to see Yana. And I will say, if you are reading the comics have not quite caught up to Path of Vengeance quite yet. So it does spoil a couple of things for the comics. But if anything, I'm just more excited to read those issues now and see, like, actually what happened. But you get to see their escape, and then you are on Dalna, you see Marta, you see Yana get separated, and they both go on these parallel but completely convergent stories, and I was so hooked. I have never read Cavan Scott write YA before, and honestly, we have been robbed. This man was born to write YA. The tropes in this book are so well done. The characterization is absolutely outstanding. Like, there's romance in this book, and I was living for it. We get to see characters, you know, teetering on the edge of absolute madness. We see characters go in directions that I never would have thought we'd see them go in. And honestly, like, Cavan Scott, there's just such this amazing way that he writes. It reminded me a lot of reading The Rising Storm, which is one of my favorite books from the first phase, and to see him continue it on with these characters was so good. This book to me is probably the most important out of phase 2 because of what happens with the Path of the Open Hand, what happens with the mother, the revelations we get about the mother. We get to learn about the mother's past in this book, which is absolutely insane. And we also get to learn about, you know, that nameless threat, the Leveler, where they come from, what actually are they, what are they doing? And I just couldn't believe we were getting all of these secrets revealed in this book. Based on how this book plays out, I definitely think you should read it before Cataclysm, because Cataclysm definitely feels like the send-off of phase 2, and you get more of like an outside look at the battle that happens later on, whereas in this one you're looking at it more from the inside, more introspective. And I did start Quest for Planet X, which is the middle grade novel for this. I'm about 50 pages in, and I do think that as of right now, the reading order going into phase 2, you need to have read the audio drama. Like, you need to have read the audio drama or have been reading the comics. I think either one of those would be fine. And then I think you do the middle grade book, you do Path of Vengeance, and then you do Cataclysm, and that is going to take us into phase 3. And honestly, I think we're in for some pretty big stuff. And I really, really hope that they let Cavan write more young adult. He's not slated to write any of the novels for phase 3, but I will be so disappointed if we don't see Cavan write more YA, because this book absolutely hit it out of the park. It's one of my favorite Star Wars YA novels. It's probably one of my favorite YA novels in general. So I'm giving this book an A+. Highly recommend it. Honestly, if you do nothing else, read Path of Deceit, read Path of Vengeance. You don't need anything else. That's all you need to know. And it's just such an amazing time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit the like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Talk Books with me every week. That's everything I got for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.